Changing your beliefs, your faith can be very difficult, especially when your family, friends, loved ones are used to you being a certain way, acting a certain way, and just being in this world. But when you turn to Christ, you're no longer of this world. I just want to share this beautiful conversion testimony with you guys. We can all have a better understanding, all be mindful of people when they're new to the faith and when they need more support and when they're turning away from everything they know. And sometimes their families and friends turn away from them because of this.
I am the first person in my entire lineage to convert to Christianity. Okay, so hello everyone. Everyone's been asking me to drop a testimony of how I got saved from my Muslim lineage, Muslim background. Yes, I grew up Muslim. Let's get right into it, shall we? If you don't know, hi, my name is Star Sola. It's nice to meet you too, but I play too much. So both my mom and my dad are Muslims. My dad is actually a religious leader. He is what they call an Imam in the Islamic religion. They're basically like the religious leaders. I did not grow up with my parents. I grew up with my grandma. And my grandma, which is my mom's mother, although she grew up Christian, she married a Muslim man, which is my mom's dad, right? So the dynamics was really weird because I grew up in a part of the world where it is okay to practice Christianity while also practicing Islam. Now, I've talked about this before. The God of the Bible and the God of the Quran are not the same God. The Muslims, well, the Quran claims that Jesus was merely a prophet, while the Bible explicitly, Jesus himself tells us time and time again that he and his Father are one, saying that he is God, right? And so, no, we do not serve the same God at all. However, in Nigeria, it is very common to see a Christian. You notice that I do this because I believe that these people that call themselves Christians do not have a personal relationship with God. However, they probably grew up in an environment that are Christians. And so in Nigeria, it is very common for people to go to church and go to mosque. And so that's kind of how I grew up. But there was more emphasis on the Islamic religion on my life because my father is a Muslim. So we really practiced Islam. Like I wore the hijab, I went to the mosque, I read the books. But honestly, I really hated wearing hijabs. I really hated having to get disciplined, beat. They will beat you if you cannot recite what's in the Quran. If you can't do that, you get beat. And I really hated that as a kid, right? But that aside, I used to struggle with depression and I used to struggle with suicide alongside a lot more other things that I would cry out to Allah to deliver me from. But every single time that I prayed to Allah, my prayers never got answered. And at this time, to me, everything that I knew about Jesus was a fairy tale. It wasn't real. It was just another religious story. It really didn't mean much to me. All I knew was that you call on Allah, you pray 3 times a day, you fast, you do all the religious activities and just be a good person, right? And so when my grandma had died, I moved in with my mom and we moved to the United States. And so when we moved to the United States, when I say things got worse, baby, yeah, things got worse. I was a lot more depressed than I was back in Nigeria. I was suicidal. I started getting into things that I had no business getting into. One fateful day, my mom's friend took us to the church. And so this is where my salvation story began.